Welcome to Hafa, Guam, Unfiltered. Ahoy! Ahoy! Aye! Oh, for a die Guam, here that I come alive. From just Pirates Cove, we sailing for what's right. Captain Jeffrey Pigwell keep the compass true. Andrea on the map, Guam directory coming through. Tigs with the signal, save our startup loud. Doc Akimoto on deck, AMC proud. Leaning close, let the real talk run. Ha good nya to man, everybody has one. No wish on this ship, no fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth, watch the whole place rise. Hafa, Guam, Unfiltered. Hafa, Guam, Unfiltered. Ahoy, ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true sicker, yeah, we deliver. Hafa, Guam, Unfiltered. Everybody now, Guam, Unfiltered. They do to Santa Rita, in Alohan too, Talo Fofo in the reading. This one's for you, Don Farrell in the room, Charlie Hermosa near. We ask real questions, make it crystal clear. Tenorio Calvo Ada, Camacho names in the race. No banners on this deck, just truth to face. Independent pirate party, stand firm, stand tall. Continue to continue, answer the call. Clap, clap, lean in close, let the real talk run. Hagotnya tutumon, everybody has one. No hush on the ship, no fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth, watch the whole place rise. Hafa hour, Guam Unfiltered. Hafa hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seekers, yeah, we deliver it. Guam Unfiltered. Everybody now, Unfiltered. White ladies breach when the night wind blow. Truth don't scare when the truth must show. Chief Gadao and Matapang, strength we carry on. Sarina in the tide sing, Guam sing along. Continue to continue. Independent pirate party. Hafa hour, Guam Unfiltered. Hafa hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seekers, yeah, we deliver it. Tune into Hafa hour, Guam.
A few moments later.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Each story is told in a different way. Sometimes I hear the same birds singing from past weeks, telling of their adventures since last seeing each other.
Hey, welcome to Jeff's Pirates Cove in beautiful Ipan Talafofo, Tocha, Guam, USA. Today we are doing episode 26, Season 2. 15th of January 2026. I hope you like our new theme song that Tiggs made for us in London. It's gotten a lot of play, it's gotten a lot of interest, and I hope we have other songs coming for you soon, and we're trying. So this week we watched a lot happen as far as clamor about the legislature not producing to create more tourism, about GVB not producing more tourism, about everything that has to do with the government not producing more tourism. And it's true, there's not many tourists coming. And I really enjoyed reading Senator Lujan's take on things because he's right. I mean, we haven't got rid of the junk cars yet. 2 years ago we talked about this?
Yep.
I haven't seen one junk car moved. I saw $2 million allocated to Public Works to Mr. Areola, but I haven't seen him do much with that at all.
Nope.
The intersections where the people risk their lives to cross the streets in Tumon have not been fixed. Not just in Tumon, everywhere you go, you see the poor tourists pushing the button, but nothing happens. Now, this cannot cost that much money to fix. And it's a safety thing that benefits everybody, not just the tourists, the locals alike. I saw where the Girl Scouts are trying to push an initiative to get more sidewalks up to the airport because even the poor Girl Scouts need sidewalks for them to go to school. And they want to see our tourists treated better. So, government of Guam, it's time to wake up. Now, we're going to show you a few items that we have for sale in the gift shop before we go any further. What do you got there, Doc?
Oh, Don Farrell wrote a book about the Seabees on Guam and the Marianas during World War II. And it's, I love this book. Don Farrell was recently on a podcast and he's alive and well. That might have been before he had his fall. So, Don, if you're out there, please blink 2 times if you're feeling okay, because we need you to come back to Guam.
He's scheduled to come back here this year, that's for sure.
Excellent, excellent.
This one is the bestseller, The Liberation 1944. We still have these. And this one too, we're selling quite a few of these, the brief version of Guam history. So all written by Don Farrell, autographed, and we miss you, Don. We want you back here to help us out, so please keep it up. He's also working on another book for us that should be out soon. So what do you got, Amber?
Okay, we have our new Guama and Guampa shirts. We also have these in kid sizes.
Have these been selling well?
Yes, they have.
Turn them over, there's a front. Got your Pirates Cove logo on there, and if you're from Telefofo, you know, you really need these because they all say Telefofo on it and take pride in your village. We have quite a few children's shirts just arrived, youth sizes and tie-dye.
Tie-dye, we have unisex shirts in tie-dye. We also have the women's V-neck, and we also have kid sizes in tie-dye.
Now, what's our discount right now?
Our discount right now is 30% off.
Now, we're running that 30% off because we have a big inventory and want you all to come down and get a shirt. What is that? This is a quick dry?
Yes, dry fit long sleeve and also short sleeve.
So these UV protection for you from the sun, a lighter material than the cotton, nice shirts, come from the United States, North Carolina, and Florida. How's that one? That's a
Yeah, this is a
formal
new one,
Wow.
Hawaiian print.
Charlie, you would look good in that, you know?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna get one for sure.
With a nice fedora. This is sharp. Okay. Sharp.
And then we have dry fit tank top, muscle.
This is a new
Muscle
tank
tank.
top. We haven't had this style before. They're very comfortable. Good shirts.
Excellent, excellent.
And then we have shorts. We have women's tie-dye shorts. We have different colors. And then we also have men's swim shorts.
These are pretty flashy, you know. You'll be
Yeah.
outstanding on the beach.
We have that one, and we also have a different design in the men's swim shorts.
That's cool.
Big sizes.
Excellent.
And we have the JPC sarongs.
These are the
Yeah.
ladies or men's. You know, men wear these sarongs. I see all these Samoans wearing these and stuff, you know. And I tell you, if you don't have one of these, there's something wrong with you. You need it. And we have it in white, black, red,
Blue.
pink,
And blue.
blue.
Honey.
Now here's the delicious Mo Gold, designed after my friend Mo, made from the chains of love. And we have a lot of chains of love right now, and we'll be harvesting a new batch of this 3 weeks, I think is what I was told. We did get 7 gallons. We have two 32-ounce quarts left of this, and that's all. But when we get it, you gotta come get it, because the popularity is beyond.
And Jeff, the missing on Guam is the shirts. They're sold out?
The missing on Guam shirt from last week.
Where is the missing on Guam shirt?
Oh,
Because
Yeah.
no, because you know why? Because people ask me to see what sizes we have because they're really in tune with.
Oh yeah, we have all sizes, small to 2X in these.
Okay, so missing in Guam. That's a new one that came from Hialeah. Very good. Hot sauces. We have 5 different hot sauces available. People say it's the best hot sauce ever, so you should come down and get some of that too.
and they should try and come down soon. The barbecue is on. There's a lot of really cool people already here, and I'm hearing in the distance the rumble of motorcycles. So we're understanding, Jeff, that there's going to be a bunch of motorcyclists coming into town in a couple of hours. What's going on there?
Well, that's an annual bike fest they have down here, and stop here and have a cold water and some camaraderie and enjoy the scene down here for a little while, and everybody should come and check that out.
Join the ruckus. Yeah,
We have a new special guest today, right?
absolutely, and I'd like Charlie to introduce her because it was actually he who had the bright idea of bringing in a woman who could speak to entrepreneurship, trying to survive in this difficult economy. So Charlie, if you could introduce our next guest.
No, and like how we always do it, we'll leave it up to our guests to speak a little bit about themselves because they could probably do a better job. But you know, our guest, you know, she's really a very outspoken in a way to be able to move the island forward. And if you listen to some of her things as far as economic development, and she does have a lot of international affairs as far as, you know, understanding the way communism has worked in Europe and all that. And if you look at the socialism perspective that we're trying to implement here in the US and how we should not be going down that route, you know, she has really a good perspective on the things that she's probably lived through that says, hey, this didn't work for us and we shouldn't be living this way, and you know, gives her perspective as well. So entrepreneur, entertainer, amazing family, has a son who is an inspiring chef, and always love to hear about the adventures because I believe he's still overseas, right? Oh, he's here. He's here
Bistro,
now.
come on over.
And
Yeah.
Bistro, come on.
Yeah,
come on
I
down.
can't wait to meet her. Yeah. Hi, Bistro.
Welcome,
Hi.
welcome.
Thanks for inviting me. Thank you
Yes,
so
my
much.
pleasure to have you here.
Thank
on
you.
in.
Thank you. Great
So
to be
hopefully
here.
I didn't, you know, I didn't say anything that wasn't.
No, no,
right?
pretty much on the spot. My son is here.
Oh, okay, great.
I just brought him back for the holidays. He's taking a small break, but he's working for Chef Dylan over at Pizzacaya, so we're getting our groove going, and then we'll be back to
And
college.
he came from, he was working or he's going to school in.
He's going to school in Bulgaria.
Bulgaria.
Yeah, my home country. So
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Tell us
it's
about
good.
A little bit about yourself
Yeah.
first. What
Tell
brought
us-
you to Guam?
For those of you who never met me before, my name is Bistro Mendiola, and I've been resident since 1999 on Guam. I came to work in the tourism industry originally. I met my husband, we got married, and we have 2 beautiful children today. And my journey has been a very interesting one. My unique perspectives and my outspokenness are based on what I've experienced for the last, going on 7 years now? Yeah. So it's just the starting point on Guam. But prior to that, there was a whole another cycle of life that, as Charlie mentioned, I've been in a very different environment, which I see the attempt to bring into the U.S. It's actually coming across Europe. So I oppose that, and I've been very vocal. I wrote articles on the subject. I testified in the legislature together with your colleague, Dr. Nguyen. So I do see that we are going a path that I do not want to see, and I want to prevent any of that happening in Guam. So hopefully I can help the public gain different perspective. And of course we always want to interject how things are affecting us in Guam, because I've been criticized that I sometimes focus too much on the outside politics. But the thing is, Guam is not an isolated territory. Whatever happens in the United States, whatever happens in the Middle East, whatever happens in Asia, we suffer. So we cannot live in a bubble where we kind of pretend that we exist in this little teeny tiny micro environment and we are completely isolated or immune to what's going on. We can't. This is simply foolishness to think like that. And I wish to see more legislature out there in the future that have that broader perspective and outlook on economy, geopolitics. And instead of doing a reactive type of politics, they actually plan for what's to come and analyze before it happens. That's how we can protect our people. So there you go, in a nutshell.
Very nice. And I noticed that you're keen on growing, right? And I think this is a big thing on Guam that really needs to be started right away. A industry where we produce our own food.
Absolutely.
And a fishing industry in the ocean where we get our fish. And you ran for senator, is that true?
Yeah, twice already. My platforms never changed since my first campaign. Safe sustainability by promoting more growing food and bringing new industries. I'm not advocating for heavy, chemical industry or anything like that. But nowadays and age, we can bring lighter manufacturing industries or assembly, because we can export that to the U.S. without a tariff. So there are so many little intricacies that we can learn from outside, let's say, Philippines or even Tinian. Look, these guys have their slaughterhouse already. What the hell are we doing here? They've been talking about it for 50 years. Why don't we have that? We need it. And every excuse that I see in the book is, we don't have an industry. Well, we can't have an industry if we cannot process our food.
We need a private industry is what we need, because anything the government does could fail in 4 years because you're going to change it over, right? Anything that the government is involved in, there's too much controversy about everything. There's too much politics. There's too much, we can't do this and we can't do that. But to me, I feel like we should go to Japan and we should look and see where these hotels are growing food, not only for their hotel, for layers, for blocks outside their hotel, they're growing food. I think we need to bring these people here. What do you need is what we ask them. Okay, we need concrete buildings. Fine, we have plenty of land. There's plenty of land on Guam. We can build you the concrete building, but we want you to stay here and be part of our economy, part of our people, and teach us what to do and be, I mean, a lot of people living in Japan don't like it there.
No.
And I think they would be happy to come to any of these islands. And I do feel that we need proactive legislation, which you could help, or whoever is going to be a senator, and make it happen. We're just, I don't know. I have a check on my desk for $4,400 for produce. A lot of that, I throw it away. It's just been on the ship so long, it's just, whatever it goes through by the time it gets to Guam. The cantaloupe doesn't even taste like cantaloupe a lot of times, And we could be growing all this here if we had the incentive, and instead of spending all our time with the politicians arguing about placing the hospital and all the things that we cannot do, we need to move forward and feed our people here. I believe that.
But there are a lot of problems with developing the farming industry, and I'll tell you why. First of all, we're having a lack of infrastructure. It's very costly for anybody that even owns an agricultural lot to get water. Without water, you can't really farm.
Well, this is the government
right?
again.
Okay, there was a legislature just maybe 2 legislatures ago, a bill that was introduced to help with that. What happened to the bill? Never made it out of committee. Why? That's that's probably one of the biggest problems that I've seen so far, because I'm a geek like that. I went on the legislature website, I scroll down all the bills that are being introduced, and I comb and scan, okay, what is a good bill? In just the 36th legislature, I picked maybe 3 bills that were pertaining to farming. Actually, one of them was more comprehensive. It's called the Gualo, oh gosh, I'm massacring the name. But it had to do with farming, development, and supporting the local farmers. Nothing happened to that bill. Again, my question, why? If we want to say that we want to be sustainable, and let's say go with the climate agenda, that we want to be self-sustainable, we can't do that if we don't grow our own food.
Right.
You can have backyardigans, like people that instead of growing grass, they can grow their own eggplant, tomato, pepper, onion, whatever. And you can incentivize them, give them a little bit back, government, give them a little bit of it. Hey, let's give you a couple of $1,000, set it up. We'll come back, inspect you maybe in a year to see how you're doing. If you need help, here's UOG, here's Department of Agriculture. Learn how to grow. That excess, that can go to the school system, fresh food. It could be a cooperative effort to get that produce and sell it to either the open market or go in the school system. Now that we have the pyramid, reversed. So, yeah. I mean, there's so many things. But the problem is, my personal problem, as I'm going to touch again, is you go to the legislature, get through the bills. Only a small fraction of those bills actually pass the committee stage. And there are so many great bills that I've seen, Democrat introduced, Republican introduced. I don't judge. Great bills. We're still waiting on development. One of the bills that I wanted to reintroduce back in the day was the ADU. That was, I think, at the time was Tony Atta and, Chris Duenas, was it? Finally, they were able to, how many years took? Maybe 4 years.
ADU was
The accessory dwelling units.
Okay.
That bill.
So that had to do with the.
They tried to introduce it. They tried to introduce it twice. It didn't pass. Now that we have a majority in the legislature as Republicans, finally it passed committee, went through the hearing, went through the vetting process. People came and testified. People were happy about it, because if you can't build an entire house, build one 400, 500 accessory dwelling unit, house your mom, grandma, or your growing children there, college students. It's a very good bill to have. It was stopped because EPA, environmental problems. It's just going back and forth with the regulations.
EPA is supposed to be helping us. And this is a problem. No, but I'm just saying what has happened is wrong.
Right.
EPA should be, here, this is what's wrong. This is what you need to fix.
Right.
Then you can do that.
Right. But if we can dissect a little bit of what Bishra just said, right, and what we've been talking about. So infrastructure, bills, and so. But when we look at the priorities, right, we're all talking about sustainability, we're talking about food source, we're talking about economic development, the cost of goods going down. I mean, all these affordability, right? This is all aspects of what everyday Guamanians are talking about.
It's essential.
Okay, now if you take that and you overlay everything that's happening within the bills that are being introduced, the bills that are in committee, do they overlap with what is asked from the people? And it's not. And so that's one of the things that I'm always saying, like, every bill that I read is, how is this going to impact my life? And 80% of the bills do not. And so that is where I think, Jeff, we need to take a stronger stance on saying, we talk about it, we tell you what we want, and nothing is getting done. So now you're saying to privatize, and that's the way to go. Or when you said we need to go to Japan, we need to define who the we is, right? Because government takes all these trips. They go to Japan, they go to Taiwan, they go to Korea, they come back, they have great pictures, shaking hands. Nothing happens, right? So, that is where we need to really flush out is the we? Who is the we that needs to be created so that things can actually happen?
I went to a really interesting conference at the Father Duenas High School Phoenix Center. I think it was just last year. It's now been happening, I guess, for the last 3 years after the pandemic, where farming experts from the Philippines and I guess Micronesia come to Guam and talk about how to raise chickens, how to do piggeries. The challenge of the lack of a slaughterhouse on Guam is always brought up. The Department of Agriculture, I think, sponsors this, has a grant, works in conjunction with the University of Guam cooperative, right? They have an agricultural department there. I think the talent and the brain power and the answer to who should go to help connect with maybe now getting that last mile where the food production actually happens. People develop skills that are sustainable, right? The idea of teaching a person to fish rather than just giving them a fish. The farming, I think, has evolved to become something that people value more greatly than prior to the pandemic, where maybe it was somebody else's thing to do. We actually allowed not illegal, but we allowed migrants from South America and Central America to actually do the farming in the Midwest. I was in Minnesota and Michigan, and the kids of the farmers wouldn't have nothing to do with it. But I think the pandemic put a lot more perspective on how important it is for Guam and America to be more like Bulgaria, where when you grew up, didn't you spend some time with your grandparents actually doing just what we're talking about?
I'll tell you more. We actually, as students, went to pick the fruits, so we were involved in the whole process.
And then I guess because it gets cold, we're in Bulgaria, you even learned how to preserve it. Is that correct?
Oh, that was a national pastime, yeah.
Canning.
Yeah. Yeah,
Jarring and canning.
Yes,
and
all of
yeah,
that, all that good
great.
stuff, yeah.
Well, okay, you say it's a national pastime, but I don't think every young lady in Bulgaria has the immersion into that process that you might have had.
No, because today you go to the store and buy it. Back in the day when I was growing up, you get your produce, and the scarcity of canned goods was, I guess, forcing us to preserve everything. But that goes even back in the day. The culture is don't waste anything. Like you slaughter one thing and you keep every single part of it. You don't throw anything. Or you go and get your garden produce, and everything gets processed as quickly as possible. And that you have a pantry full of canned food. Fresh, no chemicals involved. People were healthier too.
Well, stuff that you made with your own hand, or your grandmother made and taught you how to do.
Yeah.
But so you're talking about your personal experience in communist Bulgaria. Was it communist at the time?
Yeah, at the time.
And so we, as a world, but particularly as a community, just had an inkling of maybe how that worked, because we were all under government control. We were essentially a socialist community. When we were under the lockdown, the government really was to provide for all, and they determined what could come in and out. Fortunately for us, we were still at the period where, at the point where the cupboards were full and the store shelves were full. But in many Soviet bloc nations, that eventually didn't happen, and you had to fend for yourself.
No, it's not just during communism. Even today, people like to produce their own
Yes,
food.
so
That's the thing.
But that's
It's
a great
only
culture.
Guam.
Yeah, that's a great culture.
Guam, we have no interest.
Yes.
No.
yes.
And we need it
We
more
need
than
it. We need
every
that, yes.
place else.
But there's also a
Yes.
cultural shift there, because she said the students would go out and pick.
Yes.
In Japan, they do the same thing. They go out and cultivate. The school systems teach the
Teaching
students
connection to the land,
and
basically.
they
yeah.
clean.
Yeah.
Well, what I want is to see our students not only just growing produce, cleaning up these chains of love that
Absolutely.
are suffocating the
Yes.
plants, working on the rhinoceros beetles that are affecting the coconut trees. The university, I say, oh, gee, we have this program, the Sea Grant or something, where we're going to go plant an Iowan tree, and then that's our contribution. Well, I've seen that. They put some at the public beach over here. Unless you fence them and watch them for 100 years, that was a waste of time, honestly. All these things that they're doing isn't adding up to putting groceries on the shelf or adding up to you getting some food for yourself. And this island, I mean, I don't want to say our senators or our legislators are lazy,
Oh, go ahead.
but they are.
Okay, I'll
you
say
know, and also
You're
one of
lazy.
the big deterrents or one of the big problems that I'm having now is just to pay my water bill.
Yes.
You know, my water bill was $2,300 last month. Okay, half of that I throw away in the filtering process. It's gone. You know, that's just the way the system works. So it was over $4,000 is what I'm paying for water. The government cannot overcharge us for this rusty, crappy product. You know that? I mean,
Well, they
it's
do.
only good
They
for
can.
farming. I mean, it's probably better for farming. I mean, you can't drink it unless you put it through a huge process. So the government thinks that, oh, gee, the water's worth, you know, this much a gallon, but it isn't. We're just having to pay it. And in a business like mine, where my power bill runs $6,000 and my water bill runs $2,000 some, that's already a lot of my income going to the government. And what happens to the money that I give to the government? I end up paying 12,000 employees to work, but they're not doing their job or the water would be clean. They're not changing the pipes. I mean, the big thing is here, we need to change all the pipes. There's no doubt about it. And I said it before, when there's a leak in Dumont, you rip up that whole area and put in a system where the next time it leaks, you don't have to dig up the road and close the hotels and do everything backwards and all over again.
Or just
that's
add the
smart.
adequate
That's
filters.
smart.
You know, that's one of the complaints that was done with
The filters,
the
and
filters.
also, if you're gonna change a section, change all the pipes.
Yeah.
You know, within a mile of that area. Start it, keep it going, you know?
And you know, after the show, I've been having some great conversations because we have some folks that really know about the power systems up in the
and they're
dining
over-
area.
they're over the dining
They're over
area.
there eating.
This
And so
entire
after the show,
CDC,
we
yeah.
sit down and I pick their brain because it's interesting to understand exactly where they stand. But power, water, and then you mentioned also something that we pay and we get nothing back. And so my next, I mean, I should say op-ed, but I want to be able to rally the troops and at what point do we say we're not going to pay anymore for the recycling fee?
Yes.
Right. At what point? Because one of the things that I've been researching is, okay, great, you're gaslighting this, you're making this a big issue, but what's the solution? So one of the things that I'm looking at is, could we just say not going to pay any more government, just not pay it. But create a fund, and it could be run through a nonprofit, where if you want to put into this nonprofit, they will take care of taking the vehicles and hauling them away. But the thing right now is we're giving the money to the government.
They're not using
and they're not doing it. They're using it. They're using the money.
Oh,
They're
you
using
are.
the money.
Where's the money?
So
Where's
you are.
So within that fund,
Jackasses.
it has a clause what allows them to use for administrative purposes. It's the only fund that has that clause. So
man,
it's
I was
allowed
having
to
a
be
good
taken
Sunday.
from this side and used for administrative support
well,
purposes.
isn't that 90% of all the monies that are going to administrative purposes?
85
10%?
cents on the
Not that
dollar
easy, though.
goes to
Yeah.
labor.
Yeah.
All right. I said what he said about the senators not being lazy. We're going to come back to that, but before we go dark, would like to just remind you to like, share, and subscribe, because this is an important discussion happening, and through this platform that Jeff the Pirate allows us to have, we're able to bring in great guests like Bistra and bring in you. So put in your comments, tell us what you like, what you don't like. It's important that we don't just waste this moment, and that we create change, meaningful change. This election year, democracy in action. Don't stay home. Get out, vote, organize. Yes, sir.
That's right. We want everybody think about, act, go register to vote. This is the most important thing. We've got a year to the election, right?
No, we have
Not
9
yet.
less.
200 something.
Yeah,
years.
so
that's-
there
that's
isn't much
next
time.
year,
There
yes.
isn't much time, but there's time for you to go register to vote.
Absolutely.
And there's time for you to pick up a packet and run for office. Now, I have a question about that.
Yes, sir.
When you pick up your packet,
Yeah.
what are you actually doing? You're getting a packet for petition?
Correct.
Do you have to name a party?
No.
You can put independent.
Yes. I picked one up yesterday for Dr. Wen, or this past week for Dr. Wen. They don't ask you if you're Democrat or Republican.
But you can.
You can.
Yeah,
You can. Yeah.
We have those.
But I would like to see people get interested in running, really. It's important. And I would like to see our show and other forums help people without spending a lot of money achieve their goal to be a senator or governor or whatever.
I'm glad you brought that up, Jeff, because we do have that kind of tool. It's called the Pirate Magazine.
Yes, it's,
Hafa Hour.
it's called Hafa Hour. You can tell them that.
No, I don't. I would love for you to explain it more.
Oh, okay. So Hafa Hour, I don't know when you can see me, but Hafa Hour, we have a magazine now that's live on the website, hafahour.com, and it's free to our members. So go and subscribe early. You can see all the magazines for the past 80 episodes, I believe, and then all the episodes for Hafa Hour are on that website as well.
And it's interactive. You can put in some of your comments and absolutely become a sponsor, become a leader as we make this pirate movement to get our grassroots community away from being Democrats and Republicans and just being citizens. Participate in the way that on your own terms, not to have a middleman have to tell you, which way to go. We know you have your own opinion. And if you don't want to be an actual elected official, but just want to participate in government, this is a great way to do it. Support people that are willing to put their necks on the line and keep working. Guys like Charlie Hermosa, who, again, Charlie, did you pick up your packet yet? Because I'll do it for you.
No, I know we talked about this the other night.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I mean, we're hopeful that Charlie will do it. We know he's been very busy doing all kinds of entrepreneurial things. Actually, I don't know exactly what it is, but I just know he's one of the busiest guys I know. But probably the busiest person that I do know, or at least sitting next to me, is Bistra. In fact, so before we go dark, because we'll end the show, I think, with a little bit of sobering realities about how bad things can go, i.e. Venezuela. Let's talk about how can we save ourselves? How do we, as a community, take the power of the people, this democracy we have, this government that we elect, and that we tell them, you have $1 billion of our tax dollars, help us be able to survive in this community. How do we support small businesses? How do we support entrepreneurs? How do we help people who want to start up a business? Bistra?
That's that's one of my favorite questions. How? Because we always complain that we don't get this and that done. How can we support small business? Well, first and foremost, I always said it, deregulate certain impediments when it comes from starting up a business and the permitting process to operating it. There have been instances where we are banning certain products. We ban plastic bags. Now we're getting other bans in the food industry. My business was also affected by attempted banning. Consult with the industry before you decide on doing something, because you may be hurting more than you're helping. That's one of the things. Always ask the stakeholders, what do you stakeholder need from the government to help you? It's a very simple way of communicating with the people that actually pay the salary of the government, the taxpayer. That's one way. Then let's talk about taxes. Nobody likes taxes. We always hear the biggest complaint, oh, the businesses are greedy and they need more tax breaks. Well, in this current day and age, that small business that you say it's greedy, that may be your mom and pop store, your neighbor who's barely surviving on whatever they can scrap as a customer. That may be your restaurant. That restaurant is one of the toughest industry you can get yourself into, because margins are razor thin. And that chicken thigh goes up by a few cents, you might be waiting to postpone someone's hourly or say, okay, maybe you work 4 hours this week and not 6. So when people go after the small businesses and attacking them, the small businesses are greedy, no, they're not. They're trying to survive, because a business is a business when they make a little bit more than what you charge for, and so that they can pay, first and foremost, the GRT, because that's a given. You make $10, you pay 4.5% any given day. Like you make it, you pay it. No ifs or buts. You cannot deduct any
Expenses.
for it. It's there. So that's one big expense. Now, day and age, we also use credit cards. I mean, the credit card company also charges arm and leg for processing. Not to mention that one of the biggest expenses in a small business, that's your labor force. You need the people to help you out with manning operations, etc. These people also need to be present, and you are also responsible for 7.5% of their payroll tax. So when you add up those little teeny tiny pennies, at the end of the day, that business needs customers. We have an economy in shambles. Every single break that we can give to our small business community will trickle back to you, consumer, period. Because if you save money on a certain product today, or if you have a daughter, a son, a mom or dad that's working today, they didn't have a job yesterday, but today they're employed and they're bringing in some income, you win. So let's stop with the nice propaganda that small businesses are basically greedy and they don't deserve the break. They do deserve the break. They needed it yesterday. And the more the government can incentivize them to start and open businesses, like again, I went 2 legislatures ago on the website, I believe it was Bill 77-36. That bill proposed $10 million to be given as a small business startup grant, regardless in what industry you are, because currently GITA wants to be in a certain industry to give you that money. That particular bill, introduced by Republicans, did say, okay, government will appropriate $10 million. Why is this important, that number? Guess how much in 2023 we gave to small business development of Guam? $5 million. Do you think in that $1.5 billion cost of government, $5 million is enough to spur new businesses that can actually trickle down to paying more taxes? No. Yeah. So, I mean, what can we do? There's so many things that we can do. We need to stop thinking that starting, owning, operating small business is a bad thing. This is the communist way of thinking. Please stop.
Yeah, and so going to that, I spent some time, and this is not, please, I know, Doc, you may jump on this real quick when I say it, but I was in Germany and, with some good friends out there, and they had, leaned over, we were having a conversation, and they said, listen, we would love to go to the United States. And I said, well, while I was in Germany, it just felt like everybody was riding bikes, everything was good, everybody was middle class, and they're like, but yes, that's as far as we can go. In the US, if I wanted to sell hot dogs and become a millionaire, I can. And so what is so wrong here? Why does the government have to have so much control to take from the small businesses when we want to be able to put food on the table, give jobs to our people, right? And have a lasting legacy for the next generation. Why wouldn't the government want to help us continue on that route? And that's the one thing that I don't understand, because a lot of the folks that are in the higher echelon in this government have these businesses. And so maybe they're just taking care of themselves, or there's another rationale for that. But to me, that is sort of the fundamentals of why I want to continue. And I am, on the entrepreneur side. So I am launching a coffee bar shop in about a couple of weeks. And
how's been the permitting?
This is not my realm, but I felt that my partner Jesse Cordero, who has been in the coffee brewing business, so he's got what it takes to be able to run a coffee shop. What I want to be able to is really understand is what is it going to take for us to be able to survive and make it through. Like, I'm not doing it, and we're not doing it because everybody's telling us not to do it. Right. We feel it's the right thing to do right now, and we're gonna. From my perspective, I'm going to test out everything that actually I've been teaching. Good. And so, what is it that's not working? From the permitting process, from inventory control, because now I got to ship my stuff, right? Yeah. So how does that look like? From hiring people. So I've actually had a very good conversation with the mayor of Inalahan. And one of the things that I've always talked about is we don't have transportation. We don't have the means to be able to get our people efficiently from one point to another point. So what I'm going to do is I'm looking at potentially having the Google model where we're going to interview folks from down south, from Inalahan, to see if they want to work up north.
Good.
And what I'll do is I'll go down, I'll pick them up at 7:30, drive them up if they don't have the means to get up there.
You
Yeah.
you as a guy,
As a
as
business
the owner.
Yeah. And then drive them back down to their. Now again, this is something that we're going to test out to see if it works. But because we don't have a transportation infrastructure, because we don't have the buses and means for people to travel around freely,
Yeah.
we're going to have to create it. We're going to have to make it. So I'm just going to do it myself.
This
from
is
that
not a
way.
new thing. The city that I was born and raised at, Varna, it's on the Black Sea coast. It's a tourism-driven city. We have 3 resorts right outside, about 20 kilometers. So the workers that work in the resorts, they were picked up by the actual company. So that's a
Okay.
I
Not a
do
new
it
thing.
every day.
yeah.
Do you do it?
Well, I have to. I
Oh,
mean,
there's no
people
other way,
don't have
yeah.
transportation. And actually, a lot of my people from Kapingi, Marengi, and those islands, I found them places close to here. So they can stay there. And they've been staying there 30 years, and their family, and they can walk to work, which is actually the best, right?
Right.
But just been harping from the beginning of this show, because I've watched since the first episode about getting mass transit to our people down south, and being able to connect people with their jobs, with their schools, or with their friends up north. I mean, we are in an island that's only 30 miles long, a place where realistically everybody should be carpooling anyway. But if that's not available, we should have public transportation as close to free as possible, because we need people to get around without driving their own damn car, right? I mean, apparently the only way to get around here is to buy your own car, make your car payment, and waste your time doing
And
that
you
back
know,
and forth.
for anybody that needs a car, I mean, like I got young people that work for me still going to school. You go to buy a car, my God, your payment's going to be $500 a month.
If you're
And
lucky.
then your insurance, and then, whatever, everything, the roads are bad, everything works against you to have a car. It's the most expensive thing on Guam. But we cannot seem to form an agency with sober, conscientious, transportation-minded people. So,
But do we need an agency?
no, we need to privatize it.
That's what I'm
We
saying.
need to actually even when they privatize, they take these privatized companies and they bastardize them.
Right.
They take Kloppenberg or they take King and they just make them do whatever they want them to do. They don't let them run the operation like entrepreneurs and profit-minded people should. The government has all these things involved, and that's why I want the government out of our lives. I mean, there's nothing worse
If that were
than to
possible.
wake up every day and think, my God, now we're going to have a podcast and complain about the government because nothing is happening.
Well, that's the
You
only
know
reason
what I
I'm
mean?
here. No,
No, I love doing it. I'm just saying.
Well, we're going to do it right now because we are about to elect a bunch of people who probably could effectuate that kind of change, right? All these ideas that the government has really dropped the ball on this particular issue, but there's so many others. But let's just focus on mass transit. Most of, if not all of the money that mass transit, the department, that agency that does exist, the government of Guam agency, that's federal money. They get tons of federal money to buy buses, to buy automobiles, to pay people to drive
fix the
buses,
roads?
to fix the roads. But guess what they're going to do on Martin Luther King holiday? A day of service where you're supposed to find something to do to lift each other up, particularly those people who don't have cars. Well, our mass transit people decided to take the day off. I was going to say fucking, but the thing is, it is ridiculous that the mass transit people would pick Martin Luther King holiday to give everybody the middle finger. The whole point of Martin Luther King holiday was Rosa Parks being denied the ability to sit down on a bus in Alabama because some white dude thought he was more important than she. The Alabama bus boycott is the whole reason Martin Luther King, 26 years old, rose up as a Baptist minister to effectuate change. Do you think he really felt empowered when he first started doing it? He was 26 years old. This whole bastardization of government by this Governor Lou Leon Guerrero, and her partner, Josh Leon Guerrero. Your leadership sucks. On a day when we celebrate a man who was shot in the head because he dared to believe that his child should have the same rights as every other child, especially the white children in his neighborhood. He gave his life. His family was bombed. This whole holiday was created because America knew it wasn't living up to its ideals. And you, Tyrone Titano, the acting director of this mass transit authority, fuck you. Why are you sending out a flyer telling everybody no buses on Martin Luther King holiday? So we can't come down to Jeff's. We can't go to work. We can't go wherever we need to go to take care of serving our fellow man. Fuck you.
And so this is the unfiltered part, right? This is,
Right.
This is,
That's-
this is,
that's-
this is the unfiltered part of the show. But going back to, and so do we take it upon ourselves to just do it ourselves?
Yes.
Right?
That's what democracy is all about. Yes.
I mean, to recreate
I
these
have yet
systems,
begun
these
to speak.
But these transportation systems, do we take it upon ourselves to show show the government, hey, listen, we can do it. We can do it better than you can, and here you go.
Okay, so Senator, you're in office, or Governor, whichever one you decide to do. I'm serious. Because then the shoe's on the other foot.
Or barista.
But the deal is, you now get to make the decision to shut down that government agency and privatize it, give vouchers, do whatever you need to do, because we also want to do the thing with schools, right? Why are we fooling around trying to run schools? We don't know what we're doing, and we're lying to the people that it's safe. So let the charade that is the government of Guam, right? This is Joe Biden, right? Everybody knows this thing sucks. You guys are demented. You are a danger to yourself and others. Yet we keep paying you $1.5 billion. Now you're the governor. Are you going to be Joe Biden? So what are you going to do?
So I mean, again, you can go down the list, but the three things that I would look at from like a government that has no control. One is the port. I'm very familiar with that.
Wait. Don't do it. No. I see what you're doing, and you're because I have ADD. I'm focusing on transport and schools, and you have to decide: are you going to give school vouchers, and are you going to shut down mass transit and privatize it?
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Then that's the thing. That's the difference, right? Because everybody says, "Oh, the Republicans and the Democrats are the same." Not the same. Lou Leon Guerrero apparently thinks this is okay. She doesn't even seem to care. She thinks the economy is great. She gave everybody a 22% pay raise and $10 million in holidays over the Christmas break. You're saying, if you're governor, if you're in the Senate, sorry to be so aggressive, you're going to shut down mass transit, let those GovGuam employees free, let them figure out how to survive.
We'll repurpose them.
Why worry about it? They're not worried about you.
No.
They're taking the day off tomorrow, have no qualms about it. Bleeding hearts for government of Guam sycophants is a useless exercise. I'm saying there has to be a difference between the Democrats and the Republicans. And if you're saying, because it's a bold statement, and I'm not sure your party supports you, so you may need to become part of the Pirate Party and be independent, you're about shutting down mass transit specifically and privatizing its operations, giving that $20 million in funding, federal funds, to the private sector.
1,000%.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't even blink.
That's the way to roll.
Won't even
See,
blink.
there is a difference. There is a change. Are you ready for it, though? Because that's the thing. The people that vote, right, they're the ones who have to decide, am I ready for that kind of justice?
Right.
Are you ready to go with the saw and start mowing
It's not
down
about,
or
I mean,
no, right?
no, this is a surgical
what it
strike.
takes,
It's a
I'm telling
surgical
you.
strike. Like our new topic, Venezuela, because, if we continue down this path that Lou's taking us, we're going to be like in Maduro land, right? Maduro land decided, I'm going to make everybody happy, including myself.
Right.
So now I get to live in a safe house until Donald Trump jumps in and whisks me off to Brooklyn.
I think it was making himself more happy than everybody else, because you're.
Well, trust me, Lou's really happy flying first class being the governor somewhere else. She's just not happy when she's the governor here. The greatest part of being a senator or governor is getting off island.
I think that Lou has to be careful what she says about Donald.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well,
Did
absolutely.
you see her raking him the other day for a lousy $6 million in losses?
Yeah, I think she said
Right.
it was.
It's just the tip of the iceberg, honestly. If
Yeah.
the ghost ever comes in here and looks at the way we spend our money and what benefit comes through back to the people for their children's education or their road safety or anything that is run by this government, it's over.
Yeah, no,
Because they're not doing it. They're only there for themselves, and
and I was going to make a joke when Doc said that he's over in Minnesota because he said he went over there to research about farming, but when he got there, he instead opened up a daycare.
Yes.
Right? In Minnesota. He opened up a daycare.
But even on Guam, that's a needed business too.
Yes,
I mean,
needed business,
big time.
But don't be corrupt.
But let me just tell you that everything that's happening on the mainland where the corruption and people are getting all this funding and not doing anything is happening here on Guam right now. Because I have spoken with legit daycare businesses that are struggling right now.
Yes.
And they are getting hit because they are raising their hand and saying, hey, the health department or whoever they fall under the health department umbrella, they're going after and saying, what do we need to do to get more funding? We see that all these other agencies aren't doing it and they're reporting them. And when you do it, you're getting blacklisted. Now they're coming after you to your daycare, not giving you your permits to be able to operate, and it's making them harder. So I think that we need to do what's happening in Minnesota, what's happening in California, what's happening in Washington, all that, we need to do that here. We need to open up these books and see exactly where all these monies that the government is giving out and how it was spent. And if
You're absolutely right.
And if you can't prove that you spent it according to how it was supposed to be spent, you need to give it back.
Or go to jail.
Or go to jail.
You know, we need to punish people. You know, Guam, no matter how bad you do something or what you got away with, you'll never be punished.
Right.
Because who's the boss?
Right.
Josh and Lou, right? Are they going to punish you? First, they got to open up their chest of all their junk and, you know, everything they've gotten away with, right? Nobody wants to expose that. I mean, I would love to see everything exposed, and we're paying for it.
Yeah,
we are.
We've seen no punishment. Directors have said we failed. We didn't do this right. Nothing has happened. They're still in their position, getting paid over $200,000.
You know what my greatest dream for Guam is actually. That kind of ties into the how we can help the people of Guam. My biggest dream is we start hiring heads of agencies with actual long-term experience, and we actually ask for their resume and we interview them like in the private sector.
Is she crazy?
And it has to stay in that
That
state of
will
mind.
fix everything overnight.
I feel like I'm a student. Remember, Governor Calvo, he did that. He instituted that legislation, which was supposed to mandate actual qualified individuals.
Correct.
And it doesn't happen.
No.
Because the one thing about our government is even if we have laws all over the place, there's no regulatory environment to enforce it.
I want to see people from all over the world if we have to get heads that are actual professionals with long-term solid experience. Executives that actually have been there, done that, grinded, and actually improved things. That's what we need.
Yeah.
And
Other
you
than
know,
that,
before we
I don't
had
see it.
You know, like when I was first came to Guam, the teachers were hired from off island. The civil service hired everybody from off island, and they were professionals and they did their job. But once the government of Guam got a hold of it, finadini. There wasn't no efficiency.
This
No,
is
that's
how
my
we do
cousin. I don't want him to work too hard. No, give that guy a raise. That's my nephew. You know,
Right.
he's okay.
The nepotism.
And this is what our government is all about. For that $1.2 billion, 85 cents on the dollar going to labor, and there's no money left to do the job.
You know, I self-funded my 2 campaigns. Although I've been offered a lot of donations from various, different small businesses, individuals, I said no. Because I don't want to be tied to your party system. I don't want you to be knocking on my door one day and say, hey, Senator, I gave you support, now give me your support. You know, that's part of the problem. If we fix that, again, we're helping the people.
That's why
All of that culture that currently exists today, and not just in Guam, but also in the minds of the people, because I've been approached by regular people, they don't know me, and I'm running for senator, and they tell me, if I support you, can you give me a job?
Of course.
That's
thing
the
in their
reality.
mind.
And I'm here, like, wait a minute, I don't even know you. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you can do, number one. And how can I give you a job when I'm just going to be a senator in the legislature, you know? So it is such a multifaceted problem that we need to eradicate by starting to think anew and really come with the
Well, that's where it takes the independent
Yeah.
thinkers.
Yeah.
And to stop the Democrat.
We
and
need to
stop
be
the
done with the old
Republican
school of doing
saying
things.
they're doing. You know, it
Yeah.
has to be fresh and new.
And that's why I'm so
it has to
excited.
work.
I'm seeing all the young
Candidates.
candidates.
Candidates,
I've met them, great guys, and they're young, they're enthusiastic, and they don't come from this solid background. We go and, you know, root for you and you scratch our back, you know?
Boys and girls, this is why we spend this half hour every Sunday down here at the Pirates Cove. Like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends and neighbors that this is the hot talk that you've been waiting for. Jeff the Pirate's been a great host of this event. So come and meet him later on this morning at the brunch over at the restaurant. A lot of good people there. I can't tell you enough that this is the kind of thing I think a lot of folks, particularly those who left Guam to go and try to find a better life, I think have been yearning for, is people within the community, like those young candidates you're talking about. I think John Savares, Alex Duenas,
Mateo Mortero.
a bunch of guys who
Richard.
are Richard Teitzno, stepping forward, getting out of their comfort zone, and you know, trying to get elected to be a representative. So you can't say that there won't be new fresh faces. What you can say is you need to show up, and you need to bring those of your relatives, your friends who don't vote. They say that, you know, they've given up. Don't give up. The frustration we're stating is because we've been involved and we do care. Charlie, for one, has made a big, bold effort to try to get the sidewalk thing rectified, right? And the street light stuff. And so finally, I think the Girl Scouts are coming to his rescue. So I think you just need to step forward, bring your ideas. We'll be happy to discuss it, but this is the forum. And so you found the right place. Tell your friends and neighbors and subscribe.
And you know, obviously every election cycle, you know, we talk about it, oh, you know, it's going to be a very important election cycle, but you know, with a lot of discussions with folks that I've had, you know, folks that are not really in the political, but we've had really deep discussions, and I've asked them, I said, do you think this 2026 is going to be the pivotal point because of what's happened in the region, what's happening economically, what's happening with everything? Do you think, you know, with midterms happening on the mainland side as well, do you think for Guam this is a pivotal point, and everybody agrees that this 2026 election cycle is going to dictate as far as which direction Guam is going to head towards?
Well,
it's like
that's
the most
why
important one.
Yeah.
our mission here is important.
Right.
To tell people you can change it. If you vote for the same people, nothing's going to happen. I don't even see where these guys get the scrotum to run for office when they haven't done anything, when they haven't accomplished anything, when Guam is right now in the worst shape for tourism, for businesses like me and the economy and everything than ever.
But
and then
that-
you're still running. What the heck?
Talking about tourism, let me give you a true story. I just came from Hokkaido 2 weeks ago. 2 hours outside of Sapporo City, there is this, in the middle of nowhere, farmland. And it's winter, it's snowing, it's hard to go through. And there's this one lonely Christmas tree, very famous for whatever reason. Guess how many tourists a year they attract? 2 million.
Just for the tree?
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's
And the
way it
locals
works.
are
That's how it
complaining
works.
that there's way too many people traversing the area, and I feel for the farmers because, you know, certain people relieve themselves where they're not supposed to, and there is signage everywhere, no toilet here. So,
Yeah.
but just one Christmas tree, 2 million people. Now, and I was thinking, like, I was talking to my husband, I was like, honey, Can we create our own lonely palm tree?
Yeah.
I mean, we need to create the attractions when it comes to tourism. We need to create the story. You know, we have to invent the storyline and tie it
The
into the
excitement
culture.
of- the
Yes.
excitement.
Well, the first thing we need to do is just simply clean up the island right now for
Absolutely.
everybody, not just the
Absolutely.
tourists. I mean,
Yeah.
we should be doing this for our own children
But
and our
hello,
own
don't we
grandchildren.
pay our government to take care
Our
of?
government does not function. Our government does not do the job, period. They are just there because they have convinced enough of their relatives and their friends to
And
keep them
themselves.
there so they can protect them. And
So-
that's what it's all about, Elfie. It's all about nepotism, spoil system,
Yeah.
Spanish rule,
Yeah.
Magellan.
Yes.
The store owners of before were well hated, so now everybody hates the store owners. Well,
Oh, yeah.
that's an old philosophy.
Regarding
okay?
the cleanup, let me give you a bright idea. It was one of the biggest complaints for Americans going into Europe, having to use the public restrooms or even a restroom, because they had to pay like 10 euro cents or something to use the bathroom. But the bathroom is clean and it's
Yeah,
maintained.
yeah.
I'll pay.
Well, sure.
I'll pay.
Wait, so that we can end show 27? Is this 27 or 26?
26.
26 on a concrete footing, right? And so that we're not having unfinished business like we did last time. Let's just say that this particular point that they're bringing up about paying the government for service, we are already doing that to get rid of abandoned vehicles. And he's tried really hard to get them to at least use the credit card and waive the fees. But now, if I'm hearing you correctly, sir, you're saying you're going to do civil disobedience and no longer pay the tax. You're advocating no longer paying for that abandoned vehicle tax, maybe giving it to a nonprofit agency, but essentially shutting down the government's claim to your money for the purposes of getting rid of trash, particularly vehicles, because it's a bogus claim. They're defrauding the people of Guam.
That's exactly it. I'm asking everybody on Guam to stop paying the tax.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
asking
So
everybody
when
to
you
come
get to the
to-
county, you're gonna say, I refuse to pay this
No.
$25.
Send the letter.
Take that $2
Send a letter to the governor and the
We
legislature.
gotta
Say
find
we're
a
not
way.
going to pay it anymore, and you need to give us our money back because for the last so many years they've said they're going to pick up the. Yeah, all along the streets of Guam are abandoned vehicles, and we have the car crusher. We have $2 million given to Vince Ariola. Nothing happening. So this is our version of the Birmingham bus boycott. Don't pay the abandoned vehicle tax.
Absolutely.
This is your pirate.
But we
speech.
all need to come together in rally and go up to the government and say we will not pay this
Yeah,
anymore.
and send the letter, send the letters, and with a big fuck you. No more taxes that don't do anything, right? Because the government keeps spinning its wheel, and the whole process of even creating a law to create the tax in the first place was a waste of time. Let's not even talk about cannabis. Maybe next time.
Oh, no.
But
I'm not an expert on that.
okay, but the point is, there's a whole bunch of things that the government gets involved in, and nothing happens. So what's the punishment? Get your money back. Get your money back.
Yes.
Okay. And don't pay any more.
Oh.
But we just need to all rally together, and maybe there's some way that we can, obviously if we don't get our stickers because we haven't registered, and that we get pulled over for some reason, maybe there's a fund that we can create that we can take care of folks that have not paid. But what I'm saying is, we need to collectively find a way, a system to be able to go up to Adelup and say that we are not going to pay this fee anymore. I am not going to give the government of Guam this money anymore.
And the
That's
governor
it.
can make that declaration right now. Suspend the tax. I mean, this
Yes,
is the
they
thing.
can. She can.
You can do it right now, Governor.
She can.
Executive order. Make it happen.
She can, or the speaker. Maybe
Yeah.
we run through the speaker. Who's big news coming out this week, right? Big news with Speaker.
Absolutely. There's a whole bunch of momentum going on, but the point is the people are caught in the middle. It's your money that they're taking out. Demand from your current elected representatives some satisfaction, because again, you're telling me if you don't pay that tax, you don't get your
sticker.
Your sticker. So that just creates more and more headaches. And I'm sorry if I'm yelling, but I am mad about it because again, this is like the 5th show we've talked about it, right? So I think now we're talking about real action, and that's what this show should be all about, is creating, I think, not just a whole bunch of hot air about complaints, because obviously we're really good at it, but also creating solutions, which I think as we are all ourselves entrepreneurs, we've all been involved in private businesses, and I would say we're the winners. I mean, there are a lot of people that are unfortunately have lost the good fight. DFS for one,
Yeah.
Hafa, and now maybe Lotte. I mean, some really good businesses that
Sushi Rock.
yeah, that's right.
One of their
So they're all, suffering, and licking their wounds. We are among the last people standing, and we're scared, or at least concerned, that things need to be better for us to continue to thrive, and also for us to raise up our own kids. She wants to bring her son home. I'm sure he is home. I'm the same. I think this is not just about us; it's about you. And so, care enough to call your governor, call Josh Tenorio, tell him to get rid of that stupid tax. We're done with them saying, do your job, because that clearly, that message wasn't held. Get rid of the tax. That's your penalty. Have a nice day.
Absolutely. And if anybody has an opportunity to go down with a bill that's being, a
Chris
hearing that's
Duenas.
being held, go down.
You're watching, Chris Duenas.
And
Do that.
testify. I mean, I testified last week, in line with what we've been talking about, Jeff, is my focus was on making sure that I was on record that this new system that's being introduced to the customs, I just wanted to go down and ensure that I went on record saying that the Office of Technology should not touch this at all. If the Office of Technology has any say, any doing with this, it's going to fail. That was my whole thing. And I snuck in the fact that they can't even turn off this 2% tax. I want my $2.69 back
Yes.
from the Treasury of Guam. Not going to stop until I get that money back.
It's the thing. You need to get your money back, but let's just stop giving the government any more money. This has
Absolutely.
clearly been, unfortunately for you, not a very pleasant experience. You guys suck, government of Guam. Enjoy your day off tomorrow. It's supposed to be a day of service, by the way, if you look it up. And the man who we're celebrating, he gave his life for freedom. So think about that while you're doing whatever dumb things you're trying to do tomorrow.
So I want to mention that there's a lot of people who are riled up about this entire discussion, but particularly I want to throw in here Joanne. She said, I knew it. Okay, people blame white people, but it's our very own people filling their pockets. And then she elaborated by saying it's easy to blame the white man, but let's be brutally honest, our own people are fucking us to fill their pockets. And then we also have Stephen Blake, in line with your $2 and some change. He says, on your water bill, on the bottom, why are we being charged a supplemental annuity surcharge of 7.77?
Yeah, why?
All those power bills and water bills, it takes Einstein to
Why are you
read
saying
them.
LEAC? What is
You
the
can't
LEAC?
figure that out.
How about the
It's just here,
LEAC? Let's
they
talk
can
about that.
get away with it, right?
In addition to that, we had, as you guys were talking, we have a live source, and it's unvetted. We can mention his name. It's Fred Bordalio Jr. I asked him to send a snippet that he wants people to know about, because we can't vet the information while we're live fully. So his snippet that he shared with us, and we're going to showcase it's about the prison. We're going to showcase the image that he sent us. And the snippet he sent was, Guam's correction system is in need of change, and there are stakeholders for this change that need to be more actively involved, such as the judiciary, the Guam Police Department, and the Guam Attorney General's public defenders, and inclusive of the federal criminal justice agencies and the military. The issue here is it's not an overcrowded prison. Get it right, it's an overcrowded jail or detention facility in Hagåtña, which was built for 132 beds, but now it's at 200. Using the current prison in Manilao as an overflow for pretrial inmates in the same area as convicted inmates, which is the biggest mistake that needs, and no pun intended, correction. And he did provide an actual picture. It looks like the slums in prison.
Isn't that the director?
Yeah, he's the director. Yeah, Fred is the director.
Okay.
And this is all message that he's provided us. He's given us the information and given us permission to credit him.
And was this all done while we were talking?
Yes.
Thanks, Fred. Thanks for watching.
And I did.
They're on the brink of
Yes.
collapse.
Yeah.
I think they've
They
crossed that
have
line.
been on the brink
yeah.
of collapse, just like so many other buildings and so many other government agencies that they stay together because people get paid.
The hospital.
They still, the hospital.
Yeah,
they
but
go to
unlike the
work.
hospital, this is the guy in charge. This is a director. He's been the chief of police. He is a man that has no reason to lie, and he has been really very boldly saying that the conditions are inhumane. And so I've always admired the pirate for being concerned about our brothers and sisters who are incarcerated. I mean, Jeff has consistently called for the jails to be made better so that those who are serving their time for crime are at least shown dignity, right? We don't need to magnify their punishment by creating inhumane conditions. And when the difference between the Department of Corrections and the Guam hospitals, the Guam hospitals is in denial. They are a failed institution, but they keep claiming that they are still safe enough to deliver babies and take care of sick children. That's a lie. Fred Berdalio, as the director of Department of Corrections, is admitting and has admitted repeatedly that the conditions there must be rectified because they're dangerous, they're inhumane, they violate human rights, every bad thing.
I think it takes federal receivership. I really do.
No, it takes Lou Leon Guerrero doing her
No,
job.
Lou cannot. She's
been
tied up.
Oh.
She's tied up in so many different directions she can't move. Okay,
It's
she has
a
done
volitional.
herself.
You were
know.
making a choice, Lou, to fail.
But it's interesting because when you talk to Fred, and he'll give you the difference because everybody has to understand the difference when you say prison, corrections. They're different. They're different.
Yeah.
Each one is a different silo.
Say that to the people. There have been inmates that have died in that jail that I'm sure Fred takes responsibility for because he's been telling people these things. This is not a safe condition. We have already gone beyond the brink. It is really now just an admission that our government has lost its mandate to lead because it simply has walked away. This is a captain that is no longer at the helm.
There was a
Not
guy
me,
in
the
the
other-
newspaper the other day that was arrested, and he said, "I want to go to prison because the drugs are better there."
Yeah, you've lost control. Lou, you've lost control.
Did you see that?
Yes,
Oh,
no, yeah.
wow.
And it wasn't a joke. That's
Yeah,
absolutely
and
true.
this is what it's all about.
It's
You know?
Wow.
The ice is being peddled
Wow.
on the streets of Guam from DLC.
Oh, the guards had a whole ceiling full of contraband. I mean, that's why I say the feds, Donald Trump, you need to come help Guam. You need to show us the way to spend that money where it's effective for rehab and whatever it takes to make people get better, not to leave them just going down the draino with Gov Guam.
Yeah. Or even, I follow and I send messages. I don't know if he reads them or not, but the president of El Salvador, Bukele, he created this prison system, and he's, obviously, from gangsters who are cutting people's heads off, and they're isolated. But the ones that he can repurpose, he's using them in the factories to build furniture, electricians, carpenters.
Sure,
you name it.
they gotta do something,
They got to
yeah.
do something. There is a way to be able to, but you got to have the mindset. You have to have the right person. You have to have the vision to be able to make that happen. And
It's about leadership.
it all comes down to that leadership.
Charlie, I want you to explain, because you were about to explain, this is much more than just inhumane conditions, is what the director is trying to, I
Right.
think, call out, is that it's about violation of the law and due process, which Guam seems to ignore quite frequently.
Right.
So I think it's more than just it looks like the slum, the picture that he sent, we showed it on air.
So Black Lives Matter should be here. This is where maybe the right and the left in the United States can come together and all agree that Guam sucks. The government of Guam is violating everybody's rights, and in this particular case, we're calling for help from the outside because really, we're in a hostage situation, held hostage by our own government of Guam, by Lou Leon Guerrero and Josh Chinoro, who feel like it's their duty to to ruin our lives. This is a terrible situation which we can no longer tolerate. And yes, there's an election in 11 months or less than that, but before that process even is completed, we need to save ourselves. And we can no longer rely on Governor Lulianguro.
I mean, they've had 8 years. They've had 8 years to fix this problem. Nothing has been done.
Is the problem money related?
No.
What is the
Absolutely
problem?
not.
What is the
There
Well,
problem?
the money isn't being spent right.
Uh-huh.
We don't see new buildings or new facilities.
We have a surplus.
or
They give themselves a
new
22%
roads.
raise. They say the economy's
No,
fine.
because the favorite excuse always have been
It's not money.
we
There's
don't
times
have the money.
Biden gave and Trump gave all this pandemic money. This place has been flushed with money. It's just that
We're
it
getting
hasn't
money
been
back.
used to advance us.
Well, yeah, but we're holding.
Was that a rhetorical question? Because you know it's
right.
true.
We're hoarding the money because we want to spend it on a legacy project, right? But everything else,
Well, maybe for the interest in
Right.
the bank.
The legacy
So-
she's getting is the one of failure. So I don't think really that's it. At some point you just have to admit, you may want to be a superstar. May want to be a pitcher or, something that you're not. Somebody has to come up to you and say, look, man, you can't throw. And
But if you,
I know that hurts. That's sometimes a compulsive- Lou, you can't throw. You can't pitch.
if you look deep, we spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on these contractors, these consultants to come down, and we have studies for every single department. We've done studies, and and Fred knows, and he's the one that's been saying about the facilities being, really, I mean, they're ready to freaking just fall apart beyond the hospital. I mean, beyond catching on fire and blowing up.
Yes.
And
That's
so,
pretty bad, too.
And so, that is one of the things that Fred has been fighting for, is to be able to really have the money to be able to take the infrastructure to the next level, because the prison system, the correction system, they were all not built to house the amount of people that we have in there.
They're using tents that are now
Well,
almost 20 years old.
that has been a solution. Oh, we could use.
That's not the solution.
That's not the
that was a
solution.
tent. So, Lou, you need to go back up to the prison and to the hospital. You need to lead by walking around. But again, I'm tired of telling you how to do your job. You failed. Just quit. Move on. You do us a favor and just don't show up anymore. And let's have an interim government.
I mean, if you look at the newspaper, I mean, there's nothing coming out of Adelup.
No.
They're done.
They're
checked
deer in
out.
headlights. Well,
They have checked out.
everybody's quitting on you,
right?
Lou. What's her name? Crystal Paco is now singing over at the Dusitani. By the way, tonight she's very good. So Patrick Palomo.
Sunday nights,
Everybody's got a
she's
different
really- yeah,
job.
she is
Yeah,
good, she is
everybody's
good.
getting different gigs. Yeah,
she's really good,
Melanie
so.
Mendiola over at Gita. She was actually pushing for farming. She was part of that farm to table thing. She's gone. She's working for ASC Trust. Again, all your talent. Lillian Posadas up at the hospital. She knew when to bag it. Lou, you're done. It's sad to say. Why don't you join us down over here at the Cove? We can buy you a drink for good time's sake. But you failed your people. The biggest thing you could do is just say you're sorry and let somebody else. Let's get a professional person in, like she says. We can just declare receivership and hire a grown-up to run the government. I mean, that is the sad reality of Guam right now. Like, share, and subscribe. If you disagree or if you agree, Josh, I know you're listening up there in Talafofo. Give us a call. We'd love to have you in the show. Our marketing people will talk to you soon.
And I just want to remind everyone, actually, we have a broadcast channel on Facebook. So there's a QR code on the top left-hand corner of the screen. You can scan it to get messenger updates. So we just launched that broadcast channel on the show. And maybe you can remind people to subscribe to Hafa Hour. The magazine is live on the site.
You just did, yeah.
All the episodes are there. You just have to fill out your email to access and watch it all. And there you go, guys.
Now, the production team, they deserve full star. I mean, sorry, I'm not the captain, but I'm just, as an individual crew member, so impressed with our production team. They are doing so many wonderful things. So take advantage of it all. We are connected, and our voices are going to carry, and the messages are amazingly important.
But Jeff, what would you make him on the ship? What would you make Doc? Where would he be?
The medic?
What
medic.
position would you give him?
I don't know.
I can do amputations. I can create a peg leg for him. What do you want, Dad?
I'll make him the
We'll put the parrot on his head.
the troubleshooter.
Yeah.
Troubleshooter.
Yeah, and even you.
Yeah.
Because we need the list, okay?
Yeah.
We need to say, okay, this is what the real problem is, right? Now that we know that, we got to get rid of people. So he's going to be the hatchet man too. He's going to have to get rid of all these people that have not done their jobs. He's going to have to
Robespierre.
retire them,
Robespierre.
give them their whatever money from the people of Guam that they never earned anyways, right? Because they all feel entitled,
Right.
no matter what, just because they sat there 20 or 30 years, whether they did anything or not. How many people in Gov Guam are actually working?
Right.
Nobody right now.
Half?
Right. And the good people, which I talk to all the time, are they don't know what to do with.
No, they're
leaving.
frustrated.
They're
They're
leaving. They're
crazy.
frustrated
Well,
because they see it.
That's
They see it.
because the government could be the finest employer of all.
Yep.
They could.
It will be.
And they could filter it down to the point where they privatize most of the functions. The government just need to be there as a trusted integrity part of it to keep things going.
Right.
But we use the private sector to guide them too. We cannot trust anybody. There has to be counterbalances
Checks and
and
balances,
balances for everybody. And we need to
We
move
just can't
forward.
keep doing it the way we're doing it now with the
We need to move
nepotism,
forward.
the corruption, this whole
The
tolerance.
tourism,
Yeah.
the tourism tomorrow would be better if people just get out and clean along the road or
12,000
Tumon
Gov
or,
employees.
another thing I think Jesse mentioned is these Gov Guam GVB employees, they don't do anything. They're not out picking up trash. They're not out noticing what's wrong and making a note to fix it or making a significant difference. What do they do? What are they paid for? And now they're fighting among each other between, the local, the Japanese leaders, all this. What do you expect?
Yeah.
They don't even need it.
When I was involved briefly, maybe 10, 11 months at GVB as an independent contractor, I wasn't a government employee. I was in the office though. I was working with everybody. Back in the day, there used to be the Cocoa races. There was GMIF. There was another separate Shop Guam festival. There was so many promotions going on. Back in the day, people were actually doing a lot. I've seen it. And it was a very busy type of office because you have heads of the different markets, and then you have like 2 people under them to do all the paperwork, email communication. They go to, and they can actually go to all the expos to represent Guam, pass out flyers, and just educate the tour agents. That was 2012 when I witnessed that. There's a lot of work to be done at GVB, so I don't
What about
completely
now?
want to poo-poo on them, right? So there is now. I don't know what's going on because
There's
I'm not
no
there.
tourists.
But there's no tourists. Yes. So the interesting part is that nobody actually, not even the Korean tour agents here, know why we all of a sudden had an influx of Korean visitors. Nobody knows, but we had. We know why the Russians stopped coming in because their tourist agents actually screwed the market big time. They wiped out a good amount of money. We know why the Japanese are not coming because, and I don't know if you know this, but it was actually incentivized to travel within Japan, and Japan Airlines was giving them free rides.
Yep. Free rides.
Yes.
Hey,
Did you
free
know
rides.
that?
How
Free
about on a
rides,
bus?
yeah.
If they can do it on an airline, can we do it on a bus?
I mean,
Or
we
at least
know
they
what
can.
the problem is. Now, how do we compete with that? It's a tough sell. But we keep doing the things with the come and shop, sun and sand. No. Haven't been to Korea, haven't been to Japan lately. Back in the day, they didn't have as many Louis Vuittons that they do now. Now it's like 7, 8, 9 stories, big malls that you can shop till you drop, and it's actually cheaper than it is in Guam. So we need to separate ourselves from this.
But wasn't that
notion.
Wasn't that GVB's job is to anticipate that? They had the whole pandemic where they got paid to stay home. Hawaii resurrected itself immediately afterwards. Every other tour destination resurrected itself after the pandemic, and they're doing better than Guam. Guam is apparently the worst in the world. And
That's
so
a good point.
All these things that you're saying.
All the 2-3 years that we said with big lettering on the website, excuse us a moment, we're taking a break.
Right.
Were we supposed to really take a break, or were we supposed to put
We
our
should have
heads
known
together?
what
We
was
should
gonna
have
happen
been
next.
cleaning up the island and
Yeah.
doing things
Infrastructure.
to keep people coming.
And it's the
Yeah.
same
But
governor.
We just go to sleep.
The governor should have known, right? She's supposedly a businesswoman.
we missed that mark. We missed the mark on
We
that.
We
missed-
are
yeah,
not
big
good
time.
It wasn't my
at
fault.
anything.
I had no say.
Big time.
I mean, the Japanese come here, the Koreans come here because it's warm. You know, they want to
It's
come
close
here,
by.
and it's close.
They could go to
and it used
Vietnam.
be
It's way
reasonable.
cheaper. They could go to Thailand.
Yeah, well,
It's
now
way
that's
cheaper.
what's happening.
Yeah, but they're coming here. It's a little bit of a kind of safety
American.
American. Yeah, we get the selling point. But another problem that I'm seeing with our tourism is we don't see a signature like distinctly Guam. Like we don't know what that is. Our branding is non-existent.
Right. right.
And how can you
Because
sell
the
a
government
destination
changes
when you
every
have
4 years.
no branding?
So you can lose that. Whatever.
Right.
That's the trouble with having the government run things is every 4 years you could
Yeah.
have a new administration who changes the whole outlook on everything.
Yeah.
You don't need that. You need to let people like duty-free managers run the GVB.
How many of the
and
board
hotel
members, do you know,
managers run the GVB.
how many of the board members are actually very, very small business owners? Not representative of the big, hotel. And is there anybody that actually is
there's
like a
I think
small mom and pop shop
I
owner?
believe there's one, besides the chairman being, part of a larger conglomerate. But I think one or two are the only small business that I know. board
It
members.
used to be a big setup where all the votes that you had as duty-free or whatever count towards you electing whoever's going to run that place.
The membership did
That
drive
did
that.
not work well. I mean, as far as the poor people are not represented, only the big people. And the big people are gone, so it's over.
Here's a bright idea. You guys were touching on the Lotte pulling out, and people are, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Let me give you a little bit of hope. Back in 2012, I started seeing and hearing from the influencers that were invited to promote Guam. We actually, that was under Nate DeKnight, his leadership. We invited from each market, there were 7 markets, China, Taiwan, Japan, Korea, and Russia, America. Online influencers, very famous gals, and they came, promoted, took a lot of photos, they went places, posted on social media. We generated millions of dollars of free exposure because we invested such a small, $3 million for a baseball team? No. Bring the girls here, give them one week free stay at the hotel. That's a better money spent.
Right.
The way we did it, it worked. I've seen it. Yes. So when we're talking about what's uniquely Guam and what is our branding, well, why don't we open the space at the airport to unique Guam merchandisers, to small mom and pop businesses? Give them a break with the rent. Right. Let's not be greedy, because we, the people, are the landlord, correct?
That's right.
Right? The airport is going to be just fine for maybe a year, 5, without the big leases. We can subsidize it somehow. We're going to figure it out. But give that space to the people that actually will promote Guam versus promote Victoria's Secret or Loewe or whoever. Make it Guam. Make
That's a
it
great
uniquely
idea.
Guam.
If I could just remind Jeffy, I'm sure he remembers, but we had talked about that exact thing happening up at the airport even before we knew Lotte was pulling out, is to have companies like Jeff's or the Valley of Latte to up at the airport, have a kiosk, have people be able to explain what's going on, just to say hello or tell them where the bathrooms are. I mean, one thing about places like Jeff's, the people here, really represent hospitality. They're great at customer service. They're smart. They're sharp. And so having them be the ones who help greet the visitors down here, obviously we're going to try to get them to come down to Jeff's. We're going to sign them up to go to the Valley of the Latte. All these different places where, again, they may have heard of it, but when they finally meet somebody, they can even sign up. Maybe you have a food kiosk. The airport can be transformed into something that's a marketplace to sell Guam and do it with small businesses.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's sad that Lotte might be pulling out, but I think we need to transform.
That's an opportunity,
It's an
that's an
yes.
opportunity for our own local, small mom and pop businesses that never been given that opportunity.
Yes.
That's also bringing on top of, let's bring the tourism outside of Tumon, correct?
Yes,
It's been talked about for so many years.
Well, and so that's the thing. Again, as much as this show can tear you down, if you're a politician that's messing up, we're going to tell you that we'll lift you up if you decide to embrace our wonderful ideas. I'm just wondering why we're paying you, because you're supposed to be the smart one. But that being said, we just got be given our bill. Like in any fine dining establishment, somebody's going to have to pay the bill, and so it looks like our maitre d' has given us, is that correct? Is that a man's name? Maitre d' has given us our bill. And so could you explain what we have to do now to pay the pay?
This is the grassroots version of our scorecard. Basically, at the end of every show, individually, independently, each guest will sign, give their +1 or -1, and explain why at the end, based on the candidates that we know are running for governor.
So we're taking our own advice literally, rather than just simply complain and not vote. Today, in every show, we are voting this week for which candidate we think would be best to lead our island, and that person who would be maybe the worst. And so we're going to vote for positive for that person we think would represent Guam the best as governor, and that person who wouldn't. And I guess the part that's most influential is why.
Yes, and everyone will explain their reasons why, so that people on Guam can have some understanding of your individual concerns and opinions.
And if I could only modify to add to our list, it is official now that Mr. Frank Bloss Jr. is running.
Okay.
The 20th will be official.
Okay, then it's not official yet. Yeah, it's his fault for taking so long. We've been telling him to get his hat in the ring, so we can talk about that, yeah. So he's not official yet, you're right. Sorry.
And then there's still time, and we're actually going to put this little game so that everyone can play this on the website at Hafa Hour. The points will be tallied up throughout the year, so they can go in and plus and minus and tell the world why. So we have Charlie first. Wow, Charlie, your +1 is Tenorio. Explain yourself,
Absolutely.
sir.
I gave Josh a +1 because he is being consistent on not listening to people.
What? That's negative.
No, consistency is positive.
You're turning the negative into positive.
I
Very
turned
good.
it into positive.
I
I'm giving
admire
him
that.
+1 because he's consistent. I've heard from several people that have said that they've reached out to the LT, have told them about what's going on, and seems like they just don't want to listen and do anything about it.
So you're giving him a +1?
For being consistent.
Okay.
Consistent.
You have your reasons,
Yes.
but way to suck up there, Charlie.
I know, okay.
I guess he's getting, what is it? There's permits. He needs those permits.
There you go.
And Charlie, your -1 is St. Augustine.
Yep. Minimum wage. He's going down the
Is that
wrong-
him?
Yes.
Oh, good thing I
Well,
wrote it.
explain that. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so obviously he wants to raise the minimum wage, but it's just not easy as just raise it because there's a lot of
No, the way the bill is,
the way
it's written, that's my I have no problem increasing it to $10, maybe $10.50, but tying it to the consumer price index, that's a whole loop that we're going to have to do with 6 months, 1 year.
The way they loop
No.
this new bill, the increase is absolutely the wrong path to go down. So, but understand his position, but I don't think he's understanding the business community because we want our people to be able to get increases and live well. But there's other means to be able to do it. He's not looking at it. Raising the minimum wage, I mean, you look at the minimum wage in California, it's like $22, and hasn't really done anything for the people. So there's different ways to do it. The bill, the way it was introduced, is not the right approach.
No.
That's why he gets a -1 today.
Can you explain to the average viewer who is not an economist why?
Well, I mean, so
Why
for example, if you look at some of our senior folks that are working, and maybe you also hire as well, and you could have somebody at that's been getting paid $11, $12 an hour that holds a higher position, does more. And now if you raise it, they're almost, you know,
They're again back to zero.
they're almost kind of wash. And
Yeah.
so you're compacting the pay scale with the way that people have been paid. So if you're going to do that gradually, you're going to have to, you know, raise everybody just so that it's fair. So you got to look at that point. And the fact of the matter is that minimum wage has always been used as a means to be able to get introductory, kind of get not as a ways to like sustain that. I mean, that's never been sort of the take. So, you know, right now, I think that the government should be able to look at and flip it around and give us the business sector an incentive to continue to employ our people, and they're not doing it at all.
What is that, because there's fiscal policy that allows us to adjust the economy. What is one solution the government can approach or send out a team?
Oh, I mean, what we've all been fighting, right, about the BPT, right? So I think that when the government is making money and always having a surplus and every quarter, I can't see how they're collecting a lot more money than they should. They're collecting $50 to $60 million every quarter, more than they anticipated.
They have no idea what's going on. That's the problem. Do you remember when they said the 0.5% rollback is going to cost $80 million?
Right. Yeah, it's definitely a numbers game. But again, I think that, and it's something that Bistrat has also touched on, is the government needs to help the small business in so many different ways. And it comes down to taxes.
They need to allow the small business to have freedom, not to have all these regulations and everything else that slows us down.
Or that we have to
And the
pay
taxes,
extra cost.
Okay, Doc's next, and then we'll go with Vistra and then Jeff. Okay, Doc, +1, Ada.
So I went down to the Inarajan Community Center on Tuesday, I believe it was, or Monday, anyway. And Tony Ada was there. Was very, I don't know how else to put it, but incandescent. He really shone there in ways that I had not appreciated before. He's clearly somebody that is serious. He's a serious politician and very, I think, has a very calming approach to things, but definitely does look like he has developed even more political strength than I had previously seen in him. So I like what I saw with him down in Iran, talking about an initiative to try to get the Southern Regional Medical Center more functional, get more services to the people down south. You know, honestly, the flip side of it is Frank Blas Jr., and Frank, I know you're listening, talked about how the legislature had done just enough by passing laws that the governor gets to ignore, and he's lamenting that the executive branch has dropped the ball. Meanwhile, the people are suffering. So again, I don't know that Tony solved that problem, but I'm hopeful that one of you guys is going to figure out, if you are the governor of Guam, that and you're going to figure out right now that you're in the legislature, because we're going to hold you accountable, that when you pass laws, when you as a senator pass a law, you need to make sure it gets followed, because we go through this whole process and we support you, and clearly it's meant to do good for the people, in this particular case, in the South. And we're talking about a bill that would give more autonomy to the folks who are running that community health center to be able to procure medical services, to be able to procure supplies, and to run the place so that it actually serves the people rather than serves the employees. Because right now that thing is a lunatic shop. It doesn't have x-ray, doesn't have dentistry, doesn't service the people of Guam, people in the South at night or on the weekends. It does it whenever it feels like it, and then they're so proud of themselves, the little that they actually do. So I hope Tony Ada has the political strength to continue to represent himself in the way he does, because I hadn't seen him in that light. And I'll tell Frank Blas Jr., dude, you're going to have to step up. I mean, if you're going to want to be the next governor of Guam, you can't hide behind the fact that it's the executive branch that has to do all the work once you've passed a stupid law. That's not the end of your job. And then the person that we're going to go after on the negative is Senator St. Augustine, probably for the same reasons. But I'm also just going to say, if you're running for governor, sir, you should quit pissing everybody off. But again, you know, we're not going to vote for you anyway. But you continuously do stuff that just makes things worse. I mean, again, there are people, businesses are shutting down, and you're talking about raising the minimum wage. Are you crazy? Why don't you talk to people first? Why don't you walk around and actually ask the businesses, what is it going to take to survive? Because there are places, why aren't you defending Lotte or DFS or Hafaloa or Sushi Rocks? Why are you not helping those people out? They're not going to get any wage. Do you understand me? They've lost their jobs. And they're peddling to the lowest common denominator by saying, oh, we're going to have $10 minimum wage. What good is it if everything shuts down? Boo on you.
Okay, Bishra, I'm so happy you're here. Our
Oh,
women.
what are we, chopped liver?
Yes.
Same sentiment. So I want to give Mr. Tony Atta and his wife Annette. Actually, if you guys haven't met this fiery lady, she's the driving force. We need to give her credit too. I think that a lot of people underestimated Tony. So Tony has been there, introducing really great bills. I've been tracking the bills at least since last 2-3 legislatures. He may have seen a little bit more in the background, kind of like more toned down, but this is a new energy that I'm seeing lately, so I'm happy to be a witness of that. Let's go, let's win this.
Okay.
Who do you like? Yeah.
And the -1, and we're putting you on the spot. This is your
Right,
first
so while I'm kind of like in the middle with Mr. San Agustin. He's done good bills as well, because I judge by the results always. He's done good bills, and he's helped certain industries. He does below kind of in the middle, but particular for this one bill, my criticism is the way it is written, because language in the bill is kill or make survive, in the future. We cannot allow, specifically here in Guam, when we're so dependent on so many external factors like energy and transportation, we cannot allow an avalanche bowl to take over minimum wage. It has to be a fixed amount. It has to be something that people can start off but not survive their entire life on. We went from promoting higher paying jobs, which was the motto for many administrations, both Republican and Democrat. Instead of developing the workforce, now we want to give again that, how is that, the carrot?
Oh.
You want to give the carrot again to the people, vote for me because I'm going to increase your minimum wage. No, that's not how it's done. We're going to hurt our people more than we're going to help them. Look at the Californians. They're complaining that their McDonald's costs, what, $50? Why? I would want to ask. I've seen interviews with actual food and service workers where they complain, yeah, you guys increased my wage, but today I don't have a job. Those are real people. And they're giving you the potential timeline, what's going to happen. We probably live in a parallel universe today because we think that we live in this reality and we completely ignore what's actually going to happen if we put our 2 cents together. This is not me saying it. This is the economist saying it. This is the real life on the ground experience of many states saying it. So let's think about that before we make the big mistake, and let's not give I don't care who the politician is, don't give them the indulgence of believing what they're telling you, because they're telling you what you want to hear, and it's not going to happen in reality. So that's my 2 cents right there.
That's more like
and for
$10.
those who are watching, the economist test for how well an economy is doing is usually the burger test. So the cost of a burger.
How much is
burgers
the breakfast special right now? $16.99. The tomorrow special, when is tomorrow? The local special. I'm sorry. Local deluxe.
At McDonald's?
Local, yeah.
Oh.
I actually don't know.
That's what I heard.
We only go to Jeff's.
Yeah.
$16.99. Oh wow. Yeah, we eat breakfast here.
Well, I mean, fact check me, but that's what I heard.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
Like, share, and subscribe.
kind of disturbing. Okay, Jack, your +1.
My +1, I wrote in Jeff.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you the truth, I don't like any of these people at all. They have all had a chance, and as long as Calvo's running with Ada, I will never vote. I don't trust that guy. I've had to deal with him, and I've watched the island fall to these rich people, and it makes me sick.
I don't know EJ that well.
Well,
Yeah.
I can
I'm
tell
speaking
you,
on the
I don't know him
leadership
that
there,
well,
yeah.
but I have had to deal with him on business
Mm-hmm.
and heard about him and this tax thing with the cigarettes. Do you remember the $17 million?
Okay, yeah.
Where did that all go?
Oh, we don't know.
Under a big rug, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So the guy is not even human. He's one of these high echelon, elite, magnificent duds.
So
to
that's
me,
the
okay?
perspective. Okay.
And then my -1, of course, Josh Tenorio, because he's not doing anything.
You said good things about Josh last time, didn't you?
No, I did
Oh,
not.
okay.
I only talk about you nice,
Yeah,
okay?
thank you, sir. Yeah.
Okay, everybody, what?
Okay, all right. Just so everyone knows, at the end, again, reminder, scan the code to join to get the notifications. Go and subscribe on hafahour.com. And you can leave your +1s and minuses in the comments. And next week, we'll have that game, so you could just automatically go there
Okay.
and show your 2 cents. And that's all we have for today.
I think this is a marathon show.
Yeah.
We're gonna be on for the next, no, it's a joke. For those of you who wanted to read more about Fred Berdalio, you can go to his actual profile. He was very transparent about saying, come here, and he wants to talk about,
Thanks, Fred.
yes. And then we also have some viewers that we want to shout out, Brianna, Kaima,
Hi.
Dirk,
Hey, Dirk.
Melissa Prescott, Randy Manguita, Maritza Juarez, Lonnie Solis,
Hey,
Casey
Lonnie.
Campbell, Ernie Tokus. Thank you all for joining. Make sure you say hello to your favorite guest.
Hey, everybody, thanks very much.
Yes, okay, and if anybody wants to be involved, this is the most important thing. The point of the show is to contribute.
Yep.
Provide your knowledge, your expertise, the way forward. Send us a message, we respond, even when we're live and we don't know how to read that 20-page document, Fred Berdalio, so, but we will, and we want people to come and join us in this movement, so. Off to you guys.
Sounds good. I think
You can
that's,
leave.
I think that's.
Adios,
Adios.
everybody.
Adios.
That's a
Thank
wrap.
you. Yeah, it's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
A lot of rap.
Good show, sir. Thank you. We shake hands, so thank you. We're so glad you came.
Thank you for inviting.
That was a great idea you had to invite her.
I like you.
Thank you.
You too, son of a beach.
Isn't this fun?
Oh, I'm been there, done that. So
So
my problem is when I have an actual TV interview, I have 30 seconds.
Right.
But this is a very different story. So you can keep going, right? Isn't it frustrating?
A long format.
Elevator pitch.
But,
Yeah.
but I think you might be missing the little. I'm going to pick up your packet on Monday.
Huh?
What's one again?
Oh boy.
Are you gonna run again?
I said it if we don't hit the 15 mark, then I'm gonna put my calendar.
So how,
Sure.
is anything becoming better for independents to run?
No, I don't think so.
This is something that we need to focus on.
Time to go.
A few moments later.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And each story is told in a different way. Sometimes I hear the same birds singing from past weeks, telling of their adventures since last seeing each other.
Welcome to Hafa, Guam, Unfiltered. Ahoy! Ahoy! Aye! Oh, for a die, Guam. Here that I come alive from just Pirates Cove, we sailing for what's right. Captain Jeffrey Pigwell keep the compass true. Andrea on the map, Guam directory coming through. Tigs with the signal, save our startup loud. Doc Akimoto on deck, AMC proud. Clap, clap. Leaning close, let the real talk run. Hagodnya tutumon, everybody has one. No whoosh on this ship, no fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the true, watch the whole place rise. Hafa, Guam, Unfiltered. Hafa, Guam, Unfiltered. Ahoy, ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seeker, yeah, we deliver. Hafa, Guam, Unfiltered. Everybody now, Guam, Unfiltered. They do to Santa Rita, in Alohan too, Talo Fofo in the reading. This one's for you, Don Farrell in the room, Charlie Hermosa near. We ask real questions, make it crystal clear. Tenorio Calvo Ada, Camacho names in the race. No banners on this deck, just truth to face. Independent pirate party, stand firm, stand tall. Continue to continue, answer the call. Clap, clap, lean in close, let the real talk run. Hagotnya tutumon, everybody has one. No hush on the ship, no fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth, watch the whole place rise. Hafa hour, Guam Unfiltered. Hafa hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seekers, yeah, we deliver it. Guam Unfiltered. Everybody now, Unfiltered. White ladies breach when the night wind blow. Truth don't scare when the truth must show. Chief Gadao and Matapang, strength we carry on. Sarina in the tide sing, Guam sing along. Continue to continue. Independent pirate party. Hafa hour, Guam Unfiltered. Hafa hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seekers, yeah, we deliver it. Tune into Hafa hour, Guam.